Robstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the Robstar Report. I know it's a late one. I'm late tonight. Normally I'm live like 8 o'clock, but we took my daughter to a trunk or treat. We took her to a trunk or treat, and of course, that was the thing. So yeah. The trunk or treat was good. We had to take her. It was well worth it. So again, it was well worth it. It's well worth it, chat. Appreciate everyone, but there's a lot to talk about, man, because there's so much rumors going around about this team. Like, are we going to stand? Are we going to, are we going to make that trade? Like, is Chuba Hubbard getting traded? I mean, obviously there's been rumors about it. We've already had people apparently, already like throwing shots at us. Apparently the New England Patriots are interested in us. So yeah, it's like, what do we do? Is Bryce Young going to be back for sure? Do we know that yet? We saw him participating. We saw him participating in practice today. We saw him participating in practice today. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. That's the big question. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, man? Because you just got blown out. You just got blown out by, you just got blown out by the Buffalo Bills, man. So it's like, where do we go from here? And that's the big question I think is looming with this team is like, it's you've kind of got this like gut check reality time for Carolina heading into Green Bay, right? You can't sugarcoat it because this team got their asses handed to them by Buffalo, right? And that 40-9 loss, I've already broke it down for you guys this week, but that wasn't a bad day, man. That was a full-on collapse, ladies and gentlemen. On offense, defense, on special teams, on composure. It was just a reality check. So the question is where the hell does this team go from here? I mean, you're sitting at 4-4. You're still in the playoff hunt, surprisingly. You're sitting right in the middle. It's like we're not bad enough to hit the panic button yet, but we're not good enough to pretend that we're contenders either. Because after a kind of an embarrassment loss like that, your head coach has to regroup, and you really have like two options. You either fold or you fight back. This is where, you got this week, you've got Green Bay, and that's going to really tell us, a lot about which version of the Panthers we're really dealing with. It's not ideal, I'll tell you that, because I don't like the matchup because of Micah Parsons. I mean, Micah Parsons has made Bryce Young's life a living hell. So even when he was at the Cowboys, I know he's on a different team, but again, the Buffalo disaster was a humbling moment for this team, right? Every game has, at this point, what's up, Roadmaster? What's up, Roy? What's good, Trizzy? Appreciate you joining the live stream. But every team has that game moment in season where it's like everything goes sideways. The mirror gets real uncomfortable, and that was Buffalo, man. Like, the offensive line was a mess. Protection was falling apart, obviously, due to the injuries. When you lose your starting center in this game, you lose your right guard to an Achilles tear. Then you lose Taylor Moton out with a knee injury. So your whole right side is out, right? Rico Dowdle barely had room to breathe. The play calling felt stuck between desperation and confusion. And on defense, they just Got bullied, plain and simple. You missed some tackles. There were some blown coverages. You're not getting pressure on Josh Allen. This team is basically, I'm pretty sure, dead last in the NFL in pressure rate. I don't think they are. I actually responded to it, a tweet today on X. I thought I responded to that. I did. Hold on. I did respond to that. Why didn't it not send? Oh, I did. Here it is. So, I mean, and this is from Edgar, the analysis. Black Fry, what's good? Appreciate you joining the live stream, man. Appreciate everybody joining on YouTube, whether you're on YouTube, X, or TikTok or Twitch. Appreciate you guys coming through. We're just talking about Carolina Panthers football this week, going over some news, some updates, and where are we going from here after that Buffalo Bills loss? And is this team going to be buying or selling at the trade deadline, or is it just going to stay put? We're also going to break that down in this game, or in today's show. So again, when we look at this, you see these rankings, right? You're 32nd in pass rush rate, 26th in sack rate, you're 32nd in non-blitz pressure rate, and you're 29th in pass rush win rate. I mean, that's just bottom of the barrel, man. Everything else, you go look at Carolina's rankings defensively. It's much more improved than what it was. It wasn't as good after this game against Buffalo, but before the game against Buffalo, we're talking about a top 10 team defending the run. You're talking about a top 10 team defending the pass. And then, of course, that went right out the window this past Sunday. So, again, you got to start getting pressure, man. You got to start bringing some pressure. Like, I don't know what the solution is at this point. I think the only thing that you can do is, like, it's glaring that this team at the trade deadline, Vaughn, like the live. Appreciate you, Vaughn. I see you in there, man. Derek is it. Yes, sir. And that's the thing. You got Derek Brown back, and it's like we still can't generate pressure. Your rookie and Nick Scorton is leading you in pressures. He's got 13 pressures on the year. And he might even be leading the team in sacks, for all I know. I don't know. I think Derek Brown might still have him, but Derek Brown has like 2. And I don't know. I don't know who's leading the team in sacks right now. It wouldn't surprise me if it's Nick Scorton at this point. It's a good thing that your rookie is making plays. He's getting the most pressures. But it's not good from a team as a whole that he's leading the team at this point. And I think at the trade deadline, you have to be thinking about making a move. I think you really do. I think you really have to be thinking about making a move. Because of guys like Nick Scorton and Princely Mamielin. I think those are guys that can really, truly benefit from a veteran. Actually, A'Shawn Robinson leads this team in sacks. Fun fact. Fun fact. So just for 2.5 sacks. But this team as a whole has 13 sacks on the year. That's in 8 games. That's not good, man. 13 sacks on the year in 8 games. So, again, we'll talk more about if this team, DB, Derek Brown, Derek Brown does not. Okay, Derek Brown's leading the way in sacks. I'm sorry. He has 3. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah. So I missed that, actually. Thank you, T. Thompson. I actually had to go back over it. I'm looking at the stats right now. But that's a huge issue right there. You traded Brian Burns. He's over there in New York right now. He's got 10 sacks on the year. He's one of the top sack leaders in the NFL. What do you, I mean, that's not a good look. That's not a good look for your team when you traded away a guy and you didn't get much for him. That's that you could thank your old GM and Scott Fitter for that. When you had 2 first-round picks tied to him from the LA Rams back in November of 2021, 2022, whatever it was, and you denied that, but you trade him for a 2nd-round pick and a future 5th. So it's like, so what do you do? I think this team has to be sellers, or buyers. I think you have to be buyers. Especially after watching this team. This was like against Buffalo. It was like watching a varsity team scrimmage a JV squad. Because one brutal, again, I'm not going to say that one brutal loss like erases the progress, but it does expose some of the cracks that this team has. Again, this is a team right now, ladies and gentlemen, that is sitting at 4-4. Okay. And again, we're not bad enough to hit the panic button yet, but we're not good enough to pretend we're contenders either. We're just in the middle of the mix. But it does force honesty on this team. It either breaks you or builds you. Right? Who's out there worth a flip? Panther Gal, you're going to have to make a trade. It's not even about a free agent. You're not going to find a free agent right now that's going to bring the juice and give you production that you need right now. You're going to have to make a trade. And we'll dive more into that, but I want to talk a little bit more about Bryce Young. Like, we got some news on him today, right? Shout out to Carolina Blitz for this video, out there participating in practice. I think it's kind of ironic for all the times that people have questioned whether Bryce Young is the guy, and his absence in Buffalo made it his value crystal clear. This offense just looked soulless without him. No rhythm, no creativity, no spark. I still think Andy Dalton needs to be investigated for shaving points. The FBI is investigating the NBA. Let's FBI go investigate Andy Dalton for me, please. Because again, that guy looked like a statue on roller skates this past Sunday. But again, Bryce Young can't return fast enough. What's up, Miles? Swavey, I see you in there. Appreciate you over here on the TikTok. But Bryce's biggest strength isn't flashing stats. It's not the big arm talent. It's his ability to extend plays, to feel pressure before it hits, to make something out of nothing, right? When he's in, the offense has flow. When he's not, it feels robotic. He's stuck in the mud. Say what you want about Bryce Young. He changes the entire vibe of this offense. Again, his presence gives them confidence and unpredictability with this team. Two things they badly missed in that blowout if he's back for Green Bay, it won't fix everything. It'll give this team a pulse again. Now, will he be back? I don't know. Okay, there's reports out there. Obviously he was out there participating today at practice. We saw that. We saw that today. I just don't know if he's going to be back at practice, right? That's the biggest thing right now. Or not I don't know if he's going to be back this week against Green Bay. My apologies. Because he was listed for full participant by the team following this practice today, which means that he participated in team drills as well. All right. Bryce was a full go. He can't beat Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons always has his number, man. Dave Canales came out and said that he looked good at practice, but the team are still keeping that status of day-to-day with him right now. And they said that they're going to make a decision later on this week. We did get some good news for the offensive line. Chandler Zavala practice window was activated today. He's got 21 days to get activated after that knee injury. And so we can activate him to the 53-man roster at any point during that 21-day window for now, though. He doesn't count against the active roster. That's some huge news, especially the whole ordeal with the injuries we had on offensive line. Because when you go look at the list of guys that were out, again, you've got Cade Mays, Princely Mamiello, doesn't seem optimistic that Cade Mays and Princely Mamiello are playing Sunday. Taylor Moton, Nick Scott, and Trevor Wallace right now are day-to-day. And then we can go look at the full list. Let me find the full list here real quick. There's a full list of... This is today's full list. Derek Brown, full participant. Obviously, Brady Christensen did not participate. He's out with that Achilles injury. Andy Dalton, right thumb, did not participate. Don't matter. Jimmy Horn Jr., let's not forget his shoulder. But he was full participant. Good news is Damian Lewis, oblique. He's got something going on with his oblique. Full participant. But Cade Mays did not participate today. Taylor Moton did not participate today. Nick Scott did not participate today. You got Princely Mamiello, did not participate. And Trevor Wallace did not participate. Full participation. Chandler Zavala was out there, like we were just talking about. And again, Bryce Young. So, again, it's not ideal. And we're probably, again, with this offensive line, man, we're looking to start our 7th different offensive line combination in 7 games when we go up against Green Bay this weekend. Because they're still monitoring injuries with Cade Mays and right tackle Taylor Moton. Right. So Corbett and Josh Neishman will replace Mays and Moton, center and right tackle. We know that. So we'll see. But again, we don't know what's going forward, what's happening with Bryce Young. He's still, they're still taking it day to day as it is. Again, appreciate everyone joining the live stream. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're on TikTok, make sure you tap my face. I would greatly appreciate it. Chuba for Travis Etienne. I get Travis. I would take that trade, James. So I would take that trade, James, because Rico Dowdle is probably going to be the starter. from here on out. It sounds like that they've already made that decision and are moving on with it, which is the right move. Rico Dowdle brings more juice to this offense. He brings more vision, better vision to this offense. He brings more production to this offense. I mean, it's the truth. One side on Rico Dowdle, you got a guy who's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. The other side, you got a guy that you just paid a major contract this offseason, and he's averaging now 2.8 yards a carry. I mean, you just can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this shit up for this team like this. What will we do with Rico after the season? If Chuba Hubbard does not, if we don't, when the touches that he does get and he's not out there making plays, Trizzy, and I think that's a great question. What's up, good old boy Nate? What's up, man? Appreciate you joining. That's a great question, Trizzy. What will we do with Rico after the season's over with? The only thing that makes sense to me for Carolina is you can't trade Chuba Hubbard because his contract has too much dead cap, and it's going to be hard for Carolina to trade him because it's going to take a massive hit to our dead cap, and then it's going to be harder for you to pay other players if you want to bring other players here because of the dead cap hit that he's going to take. Now, and that's the problem with trading him. Now, unless somehow you can work out some contract situations with the other team where they take on some of that contract, sometimes you see that. I doubt it. Because, again, when we talk about Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, guys, for weeks, our Dave Canales has been juggling Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle like it's Pop Warner, like everyone needs a turn. That experiment has ended, and it finally has. I just posted a short about it. I just posted a TikTok about it last night. You know, Canales admitted this week that it's time to put our best foot forward, which means that Dowdle's the guy. Which he should be. Again, Dowdle has the juice right now. He's got the better vision right now. He's got the better acceleration, way more consistency right now. Again, I think Hubbard is still a valuable piece. Don't get me wrong. I think Hubbard is still a valuable piece. I still think he could be a tone setter. He's a great leader in the locker room. But let's be real right now. And I'm just talking about right now. Dowdle is the guy. He's the hot hand. He's the more explosive back. If it's going to find its offensive rhythm again, it starts by committing to an identity, right? You know, enough of the committee approach. It just doesn't work with these guys. You got to feed the hot hand, and you got to go let the hot hand go to work. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Reese 11, I see you. To your question, is Bryce playing? As of right now, we have no idea. They're saying he was full participant in practice today. He was stretching with the offense. He was throwing. He was moving around. He was participating in team drills. But again, they're not giving us much. At least from the press conference. Again, your Dave Canales continues to say day to day. So we'll see. We'll see. I think he'll be good full go, but again, that's neither. I mean, again, I don't have the full insight on it yet, at least from what I know of. So. Should we again? I'm getting some great questions in here from you guys. I appreciate the guys, you guys in here, that are bringing some good questions. Is Wallace, should we trade for middle linebacker? Here's the thing. Do we know if Josie Jewell's coming back at all? Do we know if Josie Jewell's going to be coming back? I think a lot of people have forgotten about him. I think I know that the last time we talked about him, he was it seemed like he was basically retiring, but he could be coming back. They left the door open on that for him to be able to come back. You know what I mean? So, who at quarterbacks getting first team reps during practice? I mean, Bryce was. Andy Dalton didn't get full participation, so he wasn't out there. Bryce was getting full participation, but again, we don't know if he's truly going to be back. They're still saying he's day to day at this point. They're still evaluating. If Joel comes back, whose spot would he take? I don't think he would take anybody's spot, Trizzy. I think they'd be easing him back in. And if he took anybody's spot, it might be Roseboom. But yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, right now, the linebacker room has been playing the best it's played all season. It's been the best it's played all season. So I don't know. That's a great question. Jules said, nope. Panther Nation better be praying that Bryce can play. We need him back so bad. I know. Let's get back to that defense, though, real quick. I do want to harp on this a little bit more because it's just crazy to me, man. Just these metrics right here. These metrics is just it's like we have to rebuild confidence on this defense going forward. Defensively, this unit has too much talent, guys. Like, we're talking about where do we go from here? Like, this is one of the biggest things, I think. Because we look flat. If we look as flat as we did Sunday against Green Bay, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be another 40-9 loss. Again, Derek Brown has proven to still be Derek Brown. Derek Brown is still doing Derek Brown things. Derek Brown is still showing that he's a top 5 defensive tackle in the league. He's an absolute monster up front. He leads the team in sacks. J.C. Horn is finally healthy. I hate that he's stuck on just an island and he's not traveling. That's one thing part of this Evero system that I just don't understand. But see, Evero's system works when it does get pressure. It works better when it does get pressure. That's the problem. We're not getting enough of it. I mean, we're 26th in sack rate. That's not going to cut it. You lose Pat Jones for the year, so that does hurt. DJ Wanum, he's basically been a ghost. He's basically been a ghost. I don't know why people invite me. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, DJ Wanham has been an absolute ghost for this team. And then they go out here. Dan Morgan grabs Trevis Gipson off the San Francisco's practice squad. I mean, it's not a headline move. I mean, I do think it's a smart one. You get a 20-year-old vet with experience and a guy who's got probably a decent motor. He's obviously game ready. He had 39 snaps with the 49ers last week. It'll give Evero a rotational pass rush who actually fits the scheme. It's not like I expect him to go out there and be Brian Burns 2.0, but at least he can take some snaps and keep the pocket honest. I mean, that's the thing. The Packers, this Packers team that we got coming up, man. This is a well-disciplined football team. Because now this game against Green Bay is, again, it's another prove it game. Can Carolina compete with the big dogs, with a playoff contender, with a Super Bowl contender? Right? You already lost to one. It's just so weird though, how like Carolina beats Atlanta 30-0. Atlanta beats Buffalo. Buffalo blows us out. But then Atlanta loses to the Miami Dolphins and gets blown out. I mean, the math ain't mathing. Like, you can't make this shit up. It's like the worst Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of football teams. And there's no in between for the Carolina Panthers. It's either you win by like a touchdown, 3 points, 1 point, or you get blown out. There's no in between. There is no in between. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And you're going up, you're basically have a huge test. You're going to Lambeau Field against a Green Bay Packers team that's 5-1-1, which I hate the fucking tie thing. I wish they would get the tie out of the NFL. I wish they would get the tie out of the NFL. No team needs to be tying. Let's just get that out of there. Okay. But again, we're talking about a Packers team that's probably one of the most balanced in the NFC, maybe one of the most balanced in the NFL. They're a young, athletic, very confident team. Jordan Love just beat his, master and Aaron Rodgers, and who is quietly playing some good football right now. His chemistry with Romeo Doubs has been lethal in the red zone if you've been watching the Packers lately. Tight end Tucker Kraft is putting up some major numbers that would make Travis Kelce nod in approval about him. But if that's not enough for you, you're also got to remember Green Bay just so happens to have Micah Parsons, if which I've mentioned him before couple times, who's been an absolute wrecking ball, which was a huge trade for them this offseason. And he leads the league in pressures. And between him and Rashawn Gary, again, could be a long day for this offensive line if we don't get our shit together. But again, we could end up be playing our 7th different offensive line rotation in 9 games. This is a game that has to show its mental toughness for this team. Oh yeah, keep pounding for life. For sure. It sucks. But yes, ride or die over here for sure. You got to limit turnovers. You got to control the time of possession. Most importantly, you don't want to let Parsons ruin the day before it starts. Right? An easy reaction after that 40-9 loss against Buffalo would to be overreact. Start calling for trades, benchings, or reset. That's just not where this team is. Like, I do think that Dan Morgan is building this thing the right way. It's just slowly but surely, but he's not going to blow it up for a quick fix. And he's not tossing away draft capital just to chase mediocrity. We have a core. We have a culture. I think we have a plan. I think it's just going to continue to take more time and more reps. And the patience, I get it. It's hard. You're tired of getting embarrassed on Sundays, right? This week in Green Bay, that's a tone setter. It's not just about winning. It's about how they respond after getting punched in the mouth by Buffalo, right? Show some damn pride out there. Get back playing fast, disciplined football. Protect Bryce. Run the damn ball. That's how you bounce back. That's how you find out what kind of team you really have, right? And again, I'm not saying, we'll be breaking down that Green Bay game this Friday, but that's where we go from here. Now, the question is, is this team buyers or sellers? Is this team buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? Right? Because I'm pretty sure, and I saw it earlier today, of course, NFL rumors put this out there. I think some other reports were put out there about Chuba Hubbard. Right? Patriots were probably called to check availability on Chuba Hubbard. Do you want Chuba traded? I mean, I'm going to talk about that here real quick. Will you be live streaming this game? Yes, I will be live streaming the Green Bay Packers game. I will be live streaming that game. I will be doing a live play-by-play. All right. I know I missed the past 2 games because I've been out of town. Past 2 weekends, me and my family have been constantly doing something. It seems like every weekend. But let's be honest, Dan Morgan isn't exactly. I'm going to say this: do I think that they're going to trade Chuba Hubbard? No, not particularly. Do I think they should? You can make a case why or why not. But Dan Morgan isn't exactly Trader Dan just yet. Like the man's made a few moves. We've seen that for sure. I mean, we're talking about some wheeling and dealing front office cowboy shit. And he's still, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. I feel like when it makes sense. Last season, his first as a GM, Dan Morgan made a couple of smart mid-season swaps, sending Jonathan Mingo to Dallas for a 4th rounder, shipping Deontay Johnson to Baltimore for a 5th. Then this past summer, he did right by Adam Thielen, sending him back to Minnesota after the guy and his family made it pretty clear that they wanted to go home. But this year, I don't expect fireworks. Again, you're 4-4. You're coming off a brutal 40-9 beatdown by Buffalo. You're sitting squarely in the middle of the pack. Again, I don't think this team is good enough to buy. And I don't think it's good enough I don't think we're bad enough to just blow it all up, though. This team's not chasing a Super Bowl run like the 2015 team was. That team traded for Jared Allen. They're not in full on yard sale mode like in 2022 when they dumped Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey after Matt Rule got canned. Like, this is a team still building an identity. One that I actually believe that what is being put together. Right? I do believe it what's being put together. Especially with what you've got going on with Bryce, what you got going on with this head coach and Dave Canales. You got a core that includes Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, Taylor Moton. You could even say Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Tetero McMillan. I think Trevin Wallace has been a great improvement. I think a lot of people have been sleeping on him. And I don't think they're giving him the credit where credit's due ever since they made the switch to give him the green dot instead of Josie Jewell. Ever since Trevin Wallace has taken over that green dot, I feel like the linebacker play has been much better. I do believe in what I've seen with this wide receiver room, the running back room. I do think that the tight end room has some sleepers like Mitchell Evans, who I hope we get to see more of. But you got a lot of guys that are all locked up for the long term, right? And again, teams are going to call, like Dallas did earlier this season, asking about Derek Brown when Morgan checked on Micah Parsons. We all heard about that. But don't expect him to start selling off his foundational guys. That's not going to happen. Could the Panthers move Chuba Hubbard? Because that's the obvious name that's floating around right now. Right? I mean, Dave Canales basically hinted this week that he's ready to roll with Rico down as the lead back. And honestly, I've been saying it's about damn time, chat. I've been saying it's about damn time. And I'll get to some of your comments in here. Don't you worry. I'll get to some of you guys' comments over here on the YouTube channel. And on the TikTok if there's any. I mean, Daddle's been the hotter hand by a mile. And while Hubbard's been trying to get back into rhythm after this calf injury, he's just not the same player. Here's the thing. I told I was told, and what we were heard, and what I've been hearing is that Carolina has no interest in trading Chuba. Apparently, Canales has said that he's one of the culture guys, someone who helped set the tone during the early stages of the rebuild. I mean, this is a team that gave him a 4-year, $33.2 million extension not too long ago, with $4 million guaranteed this year, and then another $4.5 million guaranteed in 2026. That's not crazy money for a 26-year-old who just ran nearly for 1,200 yards last season. Plus, Morgan isn't just tossing him away for a mid-round flyer. And sure, Giants GM Joe Schoen, or whatever his name is, an old Morgan colleague, just lost, Cam Scatterboo over there for the season. But even that doesn't make a deal likely. I mean, Hubbard's value is higher in Charlotte than it would be in the open market anyways. He's steady. He works his ass off. He doesn't cause problems unless he suddenly forces the issue, which isn't his personality. Right? I have a feeling he's going to be staying put. Right? I mean, that's Chuba Hubbard's a first team dude. You don't trade that unless you absolutely have to. Now, the question is though, will Dan Morgan actually be a buyer? If there's one area that the Panthers might look to add, it's definitely got to be the pass rush. It's not because it's optional. It's a legit problem. We just looked at it. Even before Pat Jones went down with a season-ending back injury, the edge group has been thin. It ranks 26th in the league with just 13 sacks on the year. Nearly half of those came in one game against the Jets. That's not good. You got Nick Gordon with 2 sacks. You got Princely Mamiello with 1.5 sacks, which they flashed, but they're still figuring it out. DJ Wonnum hasn't even hit the stat sheet yet. Don't know what the fuck's going on with him. It's kind of pissing me off because you brought him here on a 2-year deal. He comes off the injury last year and has a great end to the season. The pace that he was on, he probably would have had 10 sacks on the pace that he was on at the end of the season when he came back off that injury. Thomas Income is mostly a special teamer. And our depth is paper thin. That's why you saw Dan Morgan go out there yesterday and picked up Trevis Gipson off the 49ers practice squad. And all that guy is a sneaky low-risk signing that actually might pay off. Again, Gipson bounced around the league. He's got experience, Chicago, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Seattle. Now he's here. He's productive when given a role. He's not going to turn into Brian Burns, though. He's a solid rotation piece for Evero's defense. I still don't be shocked if Morgan keeps looking. I think he's going to. Right? I think there's a lot of potential trade targets out there, though. I think there's a lot of trade targets out there, though. I think you could go look. And I mean, I don't expect Carolina to be big bidders, okay, for like against the big dogs. Like, I don't think like we'll be as big bidders like the Niners or the Eagles or the Bucks, who are looking for that one elite edge rusher to push them over the top. The Panthers, see, this team isn't there yet. And Morgan knows that. When is the deadline? The deadline is November 4th. So no, they're not going after Trey Hendrickson or Jalen Phillips. Both guys are pricey. Both are on expiring deals. So they're not going to be throwing away picks for a rental when they've got maybe an 8% chance of the playoffs. Bradley Chubb is another name floating around. He's got 4 sacks in 8 games for Miami. Has history with Evero from Denver, but but Bradley Chubb is owed over $20 million the next 2 years. That's a lot of money for a maybe 1-year rental. If anything happens, it's going to be something like smaller, maybe Arden Key from the Titans, or you go out, maybe you take a chance on Kayvon Thibodeau if the Giants get bold. But there's also been rumors that the Giants aren't interested in trading him. Right? So the key for this team is, if you are going to be buyers, you got to get a solid bet on an expiring deal, you know. Thibodeau's younger, had 11.5 sacks in 2023, but hasn't hit that stride since New York added Burns. But then they've got Abdul Carter. But I will say, I think the best chance of them making a trade might be Kayvon Thibodeau, because Morgan is good friends with Joe Schoen, and they've already pulled off one deal together. The Brian Burns trade, if y'all remember that. So it wouldn't be shocking if they linked up again. I could see the Panthers making that, because they've already done a deal before. But again, if you're expecting Morgan to make some like blockbuster trade deal, that's not where this team's at, and that's fine. Like I again, you're still trying to build something real. You've got a young quarterback. You got a new you got a new culture. You got a defense that's solid but needs help off the edge. Right? Morgan's not going to burn future picks just to patch holes for a 500 team. It's just not going to happen. If anything happens, it'll be small. They'll do some depth sightings, maybe some late round pick swaps, maybe another rotational pass rusher. But don't mistake quiet for complacent. They're just not trying to bullshit its way into being a contender before it's ready, right? This team's not trying to, that's what I'm saying. Like, this team's not trying to bullshit its way into being a contender before it's ready. It's just not going to happen. Marv over on the TikTok just said, breaking news that the Max Crosby traded to the Chargers for 2 first-round picks. I need to see an update on that before I believe any of that. I need to see an update on that before I believe any of that. If that's true, holy shit. There's no way that's true. I don't see it. I don't see that being true. Panthers by 3. All right, so you got us by 3, my guy. You got us by 3. You're choosing us to win by 3. Interesting. Guys, we got some slackers on the YouTube channel, man. Make sure you pound that like button. I appreciate it. The poll question tonight is, what should the Panthers do at the trade deadline? Be buyers, add a pass rush, stand pat, stay the course. Be sellers, move vets for picks, blow it up, start the rebuild. Yeah. And 60% of you guys said be buyers, add a pass rusher. I mean, again, I would love it. I hope they do. I just don't know if, again, it's not going to be a blockbuster trade, man. It's just not. Add depth to the offensive line with the way the injuries are going. We'll see. They might do that. I don't know if they're really going to, I don't know how serious they're going to do it. They might. They definitely need a right guard position, that's for sure. Especially if Kate Bass is not good to go. And you just lost Brady Christensen. So they definitely need a right guard position, that's for sure. You got Damian Lewis coming back. Chandler Zavala's coming back, which is good. That's all good news. There's no update on Cade Mays yet. Again, he didn't participate in practice today, but again, they're saying day to day. Taylor Moton was full participant, I think. No, he did not participate, but I think it sounds like he'll be back. Definitely don't want to rush Bryce back behind our line right now. I understand that, Spencer. Totally don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, if you know that your starting center is going to be out, you don't really have a true replacement at right guard. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Johnny Brogle says Miami or Baltimore. What is your question between Miami or Baltimore? Like which team's going to win, or not really sure. But again, so where does this team go from here? I mean, this team's just going to it's the next man up mentality. I hate to say that. Again, you got like I said, you got Green Bay this week. It's a tone setter game. It's a prove it game. Again, you got to go out there, and it's not just about winning, okay? It's about how they respond getting punched in the mouth. Plain and simple. Show some damn pride out there. Get back to playing fast, playing disciplined football, protect your quarterback, run the damn ball. That's how you bounce back. That's how you find out what kind of team you truly are. And I don't expect Carolina to go out there to win. I'm picking against them to win this game against the Packers. To be honest with you, if I'm being completely honest with you, this is not a good matchup for Carolina. If we're being legitimate and being realistic, and we'll dive more into that this week on Friday when I go live and I do my breakdown, preview, and prediction for this game. I'm going to give you my keys to what this team needs to do to win the game, offensively, defensively. And then I'll give you my final score prediction and why. But it's hard to deny to pick this team after what we saw against the Buffalo Bills. But this team is, again, this team has been the definition of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And again, like I said earlier in the stream, there is no in between. This team either wins by 1 point to 7 points or it gets blown out. And all that tells me is that this team's inconsistent. So I hope that this team can prove me wrong and be consistent. That's all I can hope at this point. So again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, do me a favor. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button over here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. Also, if you're on X, make sure you drop a follow, share the live, and or repost the live, and feel free to get in the comments. If you're on TikTok, again, tap my face, drop a follow. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I will see you guys Friday live. I'm not sure what time yet. The latest it'll be is 8 p.m. And we'll be diving into that preview and prediction for the Carolina Panthers versus the Green Bay Packers this week. I'll also be getting some more TikToks and shorts out to you guys tonight. Other than that, guys, I will see you Friday, and y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. I'm out.